And now with inflation, people are getting huge pay raises because all of a sudden everything has adjusted. So it really becomes, so there's the recruiting game, but then there's the retention game. So, one of the things that I'm noticing, so when you and I started in business, we got in, we learned from people who taught us, and I'm sure you've heard the same thing, that you get one job, you buy one house, you live in it forever, you get your retirement, and then you retire, right? Now, kids are, if you could go online and you watch videos and you would listen to what people are being taught, now people are teaching every year you should be putting your application out there. Every year you should be looking at other opportunities. Every year you should be getting this kind of, and now with inflation, people are getting huge pay raises because all of a sudden everything has adjusted. So it really becomes, so there's the recruiting game, but then there's the retention game. What are your thoughts around that?
Mm. Well, so one of the businesses we built, JoyFULL People, is about our teams and it's about retention. It's about honestly what it's about is that the relationships we had inside of our businesses with our team members, dentists or non-dentists, for the past 100 years are done. It's changed. It's never going to be that way ever again. To your point, it's not, and it's not like, it's not, you know what, this is generational dynamics. If you've ever studied generational dynamics, every generation talks trash about the generations after. Oh, these young kids, like they're constantly changing jobs and looking for, I mean, that's what our grandparents did to us. That's what we're now doing to, and that's what they'll do
Walking
to
to
their.
school 2 miles uphill in the snow. Yeah.
So you know what, you like, I hear you. And like, it's fun. Like, you can complain all that you want about the generation that's there, but you got to learn to ride it. Like, it's a horse. And if you don't learn to ride that horse, you can complain that you don't have the horse you want to ride, but this is the horses that are in the stable and you have to learn it. And that's one of the big shifts. We stopped fighting the change in dynamics and we started owning it and harnessing it. We stopped talking trash about the different generations and we started loving them and sitting there and seeing the benefits that us maybe not being so stuck in our ways
Mm. So
could
it sounds
receive
like it started with
by maybe
um,
learning.
so it started with a mindset first off with you guys, right? It was like,
Oh,
you're not going to change the
totally.
job
Like,
market.
just and you know what? Like, to your point, our parents' generation taught us something, and that like their ideal was keeping a single job the whole career.
Yeah.
This generation is always going to be looking, and so we have to change our game. We have to change our game. Do you know the other thing though that we've learned, Gary, is that just because their games changed doesn't mean they're more fulfilled.
Yeah.
And so
Agreed.
one of the things that we had to own is that, pleasing the generation is different than serving the generation, right? And so a lot of the things, like one of the principles that we had to own was we started talking to this new generation about whether it was the right time for them to transition out of our company. Like, we asked them if it was a good time for them to leave. We asked them if we could help them find new jobs that are more in alignment with their stuff. And you know what happened? Our retention went up.
Yeah.
Like Jedi mind tricks. Like, are you really serious? Are you asking me if I want to leave? And we're like, yeah, because we know you're probably looking. Like, the supply rep said you are. Like, we know you are. How can we help you? We just want to. And so we started getting strategic about it, and people started staying longer because we were saying, well, what are you trying to change? Well, I really just want a different schedule. Well, we could probably solve that here a lot easier than you finding a new job,
Yeah.
So man, and you know what? The book isn't written yet. As
Mm.
much as I like to think that we've invented some really cool philosophies of communication with new generations, we still got a lot to learn, and the generations move faster than ever.